again. Welcome back to episode number 36 of Travel Talk. Today's episode is picking up from where the last episode left off. So we've just arrived in Fiji. We are waiting for our flight from Fiji to go to Sydney in Australia. And we've gotten through customs and just waiting in the lobby. So to pick up from there, it hit 9:30 and we boarded our flight. It was a smaller plane, it only had about 70 seats on it this time. And it was only a 4-hour journey between Fiji and Sydney, which was, it was 2 hours being behind Fiji, Sydney, so it actually was technically a 2-hour journey, but we're not going to get into the time scale again because it's confusing. But yeah, the flight was nice again. Like I said, the last episode, the last flight was, it was good. A lot of free meals and movies to watch, so made it interesting. Got another breakfast meal on this plane, so that meant we'd had free meals on the two different planes, which was, always helpful. And it was, before we knew it, I think we were touching down in Sydney basically. Like I say, it wasn't a long flight, so it passed pretty quickly. And there's no problems or anything, so landed in Sydney. It was, we landed in wet, grey, cold weather, which isn't what you expect, obviously, from Australia, but, it was made a change, I suppose, because we hadn't had any rain at all where we were in America at all. But yeah, we arrived in Sydney, picked up our bags. We saw the electronic passport readers that we kind of briefly saw in America, but we never actually used them. And basically, it's if you've got a passport from a certain country, instead of having to go through to a person and have it stamped and everything, you just kind of, if it's got an electronic chip in it, you just put it on top of the reader and it reads that you've been there and it kind of electronically marks that you've entered the country. So that was a lot easier than we expected it to be. And it just meant we checked ourselves into the country, basically. So that saved us a little bit of time. Like I say, we'd collected our bags and we were dreading Australian customs a little bit. Not that we'd done anything wrong or brought anything illegal in. But you just you hear a lot of stories and see a lot on the television about that they're pretty strict and they go through a lot of bags of people that are travelling internationally. So we didn't know whether or not we were going to get stopped, but luckily this was possibly the easiest place to ever get into. So on the plane they give you a kind of a card that you have to fill out to say that you're entering the country, if you've got a visa, where you're staying, etc., etc. And you give that to the customs man, and he looks at it, and if he looks at it and thinks that obviously you need to be stopped and checked, then he'll say that. And luckily for us, he just stamped it and waved us away, which was like, wow. I was like, okay. And it was good because when I actually arrived, I'd seen that there were signs up saying ABC7 filming border security here today. Now, I've seen border security on British television when they do the Australian version and, they stop people bringing in all sorts of different things like knives and vegetables and all that wonderful stuff. So I was like, oh joy. When I first saw it, I was like, oh joy, I'm going to end up on television and woo! But yeah, like I say, thankfully, we just got waved through and they didn't actually seem that bothered by us. So obviously there was more people to look at. So yeah, it was pretty unbelievable, to be fair, that we got waved through so quickly. And in a little bit of shock, to be honest, for about 5 minutes after that. But that was good. So we were through. We were in Australia. We were on Australian soil as such. I went to the cash point to get some Australian money out for the first time. That was cool. Their money's amazing. It's waterproof and it's colourful and all sorts of wonderful stuff. Our money just crumbles, which is a bitch. We did that. Jumped into a taxi outside of the airport to head off to our hostel, which was about 20-minute drive away. And our first week in Australia was going to be very wet, and this set the precedent that day because it hammered it down the entire time we drove to this hostel. I mean, seriously, it was absolutely hammering it down. So, we eventually arrived at the Wake Up Hostel, which is where we'd be staying. It was in central Sydney. It was about maybe a 20-minute walk from the Opera House, which is good. It was nice. It was big. The rooms were good. We were sharing a dorm with two girls. It was a 6-bed dorm, and the two girls that were there, one was from Holland and one was from London. So both spoke English, which is always helpful. You know, you get to know people a lot quicker if they speak your language. And yeah, stayed in there for about 15 minutes, unpacked a little bit, but wanted to kind of head out and just look around a little bit. Headed off, there was kind of a set of shops about 5 minutes walk away, and I went in there, bought a hairdryer for $15. I bought a new towel and some flu remedy stuff as kind of in between flights, and on the second flight I wasn't feeling that great. I think it's all the recycled air that gets pumped through the kind of the cabin when you're on the planes. I don't think I react well to that. So yeah, did that. Like I say, they were necessary bits. It wasn't anything extortionate, you know. Went back after that and had some Chinese food, just to like celebrate not being like dead, which is always good. I couldn't taste much of it, but you know, Chinese food is Chinese food. You can't go wrong. And then yeah, headed back to the hostel in all honesty, because it had been a fairly long day. With all the time changes and that, I wasn't really sure what the time was or how long we'd been travelling that entire day. But yeah, I was pretty tired, so I wanted to kind of get back and just have an early night and sleep it off a little bit. And yeah, that was pretty much that day in all honesty. It's oh, actually, before I went to bed, I did actually sort out that I had to get an Australian tax file number, a bank account set up and such. So I applied for the tax file number the night that we got there, and the bank account I was going to do. I kind of looked into it online that night, but was going to do it in a few days' time, just you know, to settle in first, and then obviously start looking for jobs, because being in Australia, America was kind of the holiday period. Australia was going to be the still kind of a holiday period, but working at the same time, and I would eventually end up having 5 jobs, I think, while I was in Australia. So you know, yay. And one of the jobs was really, really good, but I won't get straight into that yet. And yeah, I'll leave that episode here. Hopefully you've enjoyed hearing that I arrived in Australia and didn't die, and this isn't an illusion. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you next time for exploring Australia, exploring Sydney, the Opera House, the bridge, all that wonderful stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. See ya.